FNAF hoax videos were a super popular genre of content back a few years ago. If you've ever watched a video of Nightmare Springtrap jumpscaring you in 4 FPS before, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. But as those who grew up with FNAF, well, grew up, the whole trend of making these videos slowly started to die off, and became just another piece of interesting FNAF community lore. Anyway, now we're going to talk about Garten of Banban again. Banban is quickly becoming what FNAF was for us back in the day for a whole new generation, which is scary to think about. You'd think Poppy Playtime would have that spot easily, but somehow, Banban is coming out on top, and is literally becoming the most popular mascot horror series for a younger demographic. And when you're dealing with kids, it's easy to find ways to drain every last second of watch time out of them. Oh yeah, baby, we're talking about good old content farms yet again. I very briefly mentioned in my previous video that there was an uprising of fake Garten of Banban characters, and today we dive head first into that rabbit hole. From an entire animated series designed to trick children into thinking new Banban content is out, to one of the worst outbreaks of bootleg merchandise I have ever seen from any series ever, these are Garten of Banban's terrible content farms. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick to the very end of this one. I have a plan, and you're gonna want to hear me out. Anyway, without further delay, strap in. Although, before we start, I just want to say something. I feel kind of off. Maybe if I drink this conveniently placed vat of Javanium, I'll feel a bit better. Here goes nothing. Oh my god, nope, that was not it. I feel even worse now. Dude, what the fuck? So, you're probably wondering why I started this video talking about FNAF hoax videos of all things. Well, without those old school FNAF hoax videos, we sure as hell wouldn't have the subject of today's video. FNAF as a series is very simple when it comes to how it's put together and the gameplay that it offers. Well, at least for classic FNAF. Simple enough that making those old fake hoax videos, as stupid as some were, could be believable to some extent if you weren't super in the loop. The stuff we're gonna talk about today, though, it's on a whole other level completely. Imagine if those old FNAF hoax videos became so popular that characters from them became almost as, if not more popular, than actual FNAF characters. That's literally what's happening right now with Banban. The game's visual style and gameplay is so simple, so easy to replicate, that any average Joe with basic Blender and animation skills can make some shitty 3D models, make them walk around a basic environment, slap a remote 3D model and a crosshair PNG on the screen, and instantly start to see success if they try hard enough to game the YouTube algorithm. I was not kidding when I said some of these OC characters are way more popular than some of the actual Banban characters either. Take Coach Pickles, for example. Now, as stupid as this sounds, trust me, I'm well aware this is very stupid, this character is actually one of the most fascinating cases we're gonna go over today. I'll bring him up again later when this is relevant, but just know that this blue elephant shaped like a noodle is an extremely popular character right now. Anyway, even with how quickly Banban games release, being like every 2 months, that's still not enough to feed the YouTube algorithm machine. It's gotten to a point where Let's Play YouTubers have started reacting to these fake Banban gameplay animations as content, including the shelf warmer at my local Toys R Us himself, Lankybox. Can I actually talk about these guys for a second? Because I swear to God, this has to be some of the worst content kids could be watching, like unironically. I would worry my child was getting genuine brain rot watching these two yell and scream about Chef Pigster from the leaked Garten of Banban 3 video footage.
Now guys, this is leaked footage again. Let me share it. Yo! What is that? Another new character?
Another new character!
What is that, bro? Like a froggy woggy?
Singer Flynn Aquarium!
Yeah. Oh! Yo, Sheriff Toaster. Is that Piggy? That Piggy from Roblox? It's like a big jellyfish. There's Chef Pigster's door again. Yo!
Oh! Orange, you glad that Stinger Flynn is orange?
Also, that Toys R Us thing was not a bit. I see Lankybox branded toys in real life occasionally, and it always makes me frown like a cartoon character in real life. Acid, pull up that one expression where the "aw yeah" dog is really fucking done with life. Yeah, that's what I look like when I see Lankybox merch in real life. Anyway, enough of that side tangent. I'm sure I'll get around to covering these parasites in a full video eventually. There are a lot of these fake Banban chapter content farms out there right now, which isn't too surprising at all, to be fair. This style of content is probably mad easy if you know what you're doing, and it's highly profitable. In the past couple months since Banban first came out, videos on it that are targeted towards kids have gotten insane view counts. Even the trailer for the third game has 10 million views now, which really hurts to think about. Hell, Fat Mojo, the company that made a bunch of Bendy toys before suing the creators of Bendy for like $500 million, recently got the license to Garten of Banban. Soon you're gonna go into your local Walmart and see Jumbo Josh figures just hanging out in the aisle. This is the reality we live in. The Banban takeover is here. What was this video about again? Oh right, this shit. Buggy Huggy is a content farm channel that originally started out by making, you guessed it, Poppy Playtime content farm videos. They did that for a while, before eventually completely switching over to making Banban stuff full time. Sorry Poppy Playtime, but you aren't releasing a new game every 2 months. Doesn't fit the content farm grind set, you know? Better luck next time, sweetie. I didn't watch any of the Poppy Playtime stuff for this video, so I have no idea what any of it really is, but just by going off the thumbnails, this looks like the exact same stuff they're making for Banban, but just for Poppy. However, even though I didn't watch any of the Poppy Playtime stuff they made, I sure as hell watched the Banban stuff. How much of the Banban stuff, you may ask? Every single episode. Around 3 hours straight of pure Garten of Banban content farm slop. And I'm here before you today to relay my findings. I am going to give you all a comprehensive Buggy Huggy Garten of Banban series breakdown, while also going over some of the weird quirks about this series along the way. Will I cover literally every episode? No, I think I'd lose my mind doing that, but I'll at least go until I feel like I've said enough. Listen, I know, I already said it earlier, but seriously everybody, strap the hell in. Lay down in the back seat of the car and buckle all 3 seatbelts while you're at it. This is going to be one of my stupidest, but also most interesting videos of all time. By the end of this, you will know far too much about this fake gameplay series made for children than you probably should. But trust me, the story gets crazy later on. No more stalling. Let's get into the second chapter. It starts on a chapter 2, there is no chapter 1, just don't question it. By far the shortest chapter in the Buggy Huggy Banban series, Chapter 2 is also the least interesting of the bunch by a long shot. The main thing that makes it stand out, ironically, is the minimal use of OC characters. In this chapter, pretty much every single character is a character from the actual Banban games. However, the farther we dive down this rabbit hole, the more and more OC characters will start to pop up, until they become the main focus of the entire goddamn thing. I should also probably mention how these videos are released. I specifically watched all the compilation videos when I watched them, since it's easier than just trying to find every single video. It also doesn't help that to extend the runtime of each of these videos, they will reuse content from the other videos. Like, I guess it's smart. Little Timmy doesn't give a shit if he has to watch 80% of the last video again just to see the new 20 seconds of content. But it's still very scummy nonetheless. Also, at the start of each of these videos in the series, there's one of those stupid YouTube call to action green screens. You know the ones, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Well, these are not removed from the longer compilation uploads. So every minute or so, you'll have to watch that stupid pop-up again and again and again. Like, imagine I did that in my sister location video. Imagine having to watch that pop-up every 2 minutes for an hour straight. It did not help my sanity while going through this entire series, I'll tell you that.
I can't take this shit no more, man.
Anyway, enough blabbering. Let's get into the actual video. Chapter 2 starts off with a boring Jumbo Josh chase in a boring red set piece, but almost immediately after that, we are greeted by probably the worst Banban model I have ever seen in my entire life. Why does he look like he's made of meat? I don't think an official Banban model existed when this first came out, but somehow they managed to make it look uglier than the real model, which is a really hard thing to do. Hats off to you, Buggy Huggy.
You ought to be proud.
After being picked up by Meat Banban, we're thrown into jail for some reason, which is also where we meet our first OC character. Listen, I know I said that this chapter didn't have many OC characters, and we're only a minute in and we already have an OC character, but you should just be glad we get to see any actual Banban characters at this point. Trust me, you will miss them the further we dive into this pit. Yes, you will miss Jumbo Josh, I promise you that. The OC character in question here is called Pinky Stewie.
Get the vaccine.
Bye-bye.
And it kinda just looks like a Luma from Mario Galaxy if you gave it LSD. This also gives me the perfect opportunity to bring up the Garten of Banban fanon wiki. Aside from this wiki somehow being more usable than the wiki for the official game somehow, seriously, the official wiki using the wall art font makes anything on it a pain in the ass to read. The fanon wiki is home to pretty much all the info you could ever want to know about any of these characters from this series or any other YouTube Banban series. Is all the info written by 10-year-olds? Yeah. For every new OC character this series adds, I will be sure to read one fun fact off their wiki page for you all to get a better understanding of these new characters. The fun fact for Pinky Stewie is, and I quote, "I'm not sure what the information was before this, as I've only seen chapter 3 and 4. Okay? Thank you so much, fan and Wiki. I'll be sure to refer back to you for more fun facts. Oh, this is gonna be a long video, man. This is gonna be a long video. Back to the story. Pinky Stewie will only let the player out of their jail cell if they give him a whole chocolate bar. So of course, the player doesn't, and is immediately freed from prison. Remember kids, if you ever wind up in jail, just shove an entire chocolate bar in the prison guard's face, and they'll rip your cell bars right off for you. It happened in a Banban YouTube animation, so it must be true. Only a few seconds after being freed from jail, a gross Captain Fiddles model shows up out of nowhere and just yeets Pinky Stewie across the room. That is the last time Pinky Stewie ever shows up. A moment of silence for Pinky Stewie, everybody. He was a real one. I need a minute. The next section is a recreation of one of the earliest Garten of Banban 2 teasers. This section is especially neat, considering that this location was scrapped from the actual game in its entirety, so seeing it here is kinda cool. The player uses a gun thing and shoots at some Captain Fiddles. Well, the crosshair isn't even centered with the gun, by the way. After a bit of shooting, it transitions into an animation of a very oiled up Captain Fiddles running in a dark room over and over again. I'm gonna be real, I think Buggy Huggy might have been running out of ideas here. Just maybe. Or maybe they really just like seeing oiled up Captain Fiddles running around. Either works. The next part has the player walking around a pool area dealing with Stinger Flynn, which somehow features worse wall art than the base game has. And I'm gonna be real, dude, I did not think that was even remotely possible. But leave it to Buggy Huggy to figure that out. Or they just stole this art. That is a very real possibility. Okay, this is a... Wow, that drawing of cat... Wow, that... Somehow this drawing sucks more than the ones in Banban. What the... Was there even an attempt here to make these look like tentacles? What the fuck is going on? This looks like a banana. These are bananas connected to a fucking umbrella. What is happening? I'm not surprised it's stolen art, actually. The Stinger Flynn model in this series is like translucent for some reason, which makes him look super fucking gross and slimy. Maybe that's an upgrade from the actual model depending on who you ask, but it's a little too out there for me compared to the rest of the cast. I get he's a jellyfish, so it makes sense, I guess. It's just very weird. The player then grabs an Opila bird floaty, slides down some bubble wrap, and then lands in a pool full of bathwater. I'm very confused how this chapter has two different ways of rendering out water, and neither of them look good. After that, there's some drone stuff, they take a lift, and finally end up at Banbalina's mirror maze. I won't even lie, for as simple of a set piece as this is, it's a pretty cool idea. That is immediately weighed out by the terrible Banbalina model though. Like seriously, why is this model literally just a stock human model from Sketchfab with Banbalina proportions and details edited onto it? Like it even has an ass and human feet, dude. Come on! We don't get to see this model for very long, however, because pretty quickly after she's introduced, Stinger Flynn comes back and drowns her to death. And you know what? Given how ugly her model is, I can't say she didn't have it coming. The rest of this chapter is pretty much the same shit, different environments. Banban comes back, you run away and kill multiple Captain Fiddles in the process. There's a lot of Captain Fiddles death in this chapter. Stinger Flynn comes back with Sheriff Toadster and they give you a fucking gun for some reason. You go to a beach section, run from Nab-Nab and slow Celine. Sheriff Toadster and Nab-Nab die in an epic battle. Zolfia shows up for like 2 seconds. And finally, right at the end of the chapter, there's one final reveal. The iconic Banban wall art mural is shown off with one brand new character. This is a fucking character from Monsters University. Nope, I am not kidding! This entire chapter ends with the reveal that a Monsters University character will be in the next chapter. Oh, my bad. It's not a Monsters University character. It's actually the iconic Banban character, Jolly James. I mean, the wiki says that, and the wiki would never lie to me. Let's check out what this character's fun fact is. And I quote, "He also looks like art from Monsters University." Wow, okay, I would have never guessed. Thanks guys. Thank you so much, Banban fan and wiki. Okay, bit aside, the whole thing with Jolly James is really funny, so let's talk about it. Now, I could be wrong here, because this happened in the early days of Banban, like in February, but I remember a shitpost on Twitter where someone edited a traced Monsters University character onto a wall in Garten of Banban. I don't know if what I saw was just a screenshot from this video, or if Buggy Huggy saw the same thing and just thought it was a real new character, but regardless of what happened, a traced character ended up in this series. I guess the idea of using an existing character fell through, however, because this is Jolly James's only appearance in the entire series. After this, he was never shown or brought up again. What ended up happening is that Jolly James was transformed into Coach Pickles, who has the exact same body shape. So, this insane broken telephone chain of events started with a fucking Pixar character and ended up making one of the most iconic Banban OCs of all time. Beautiful. We'll get more into Coach Pickles in a bit, but for now, that is the end of Chapter 2. Everything here is pretty tame compared to where we're heading in Chapter 3. Most of the cast is composed of actual Banban characters, and the plot is pretty loose, if not pretty much non-existent. This is just some good old classic content farm animation content. It only gets weirder from here. It's time to take a look at Buggy Huggy's Garten of Banban Chapter 3. God help me. Before we jump in here, I want to bring something up. The full runtime of Chapter 2 came out to around 20 minutes. A pretty decent amount of time considering what the content is. The full runtime of Chapter 3, however, comes out to almost exactly an hour worth of content. Yeah, there is a lot more to go over here, including plenty more visits to the Banban fan wiki. I can assure you that. Considering that we're both here to talk about really funny Banban OCs, I'm going to quickly rush over anything that isn't super related to OC plots, so we can get to the good shit faster. Also, just FYI, considering that this is an hour long, I will probably tap out of this at some point during the middle of it. Just saying. This chapter starts off in some random ass room that has nothing to do with the end of the last chapter, so already we're off to a great start. The player picks up a flashlight, gets attacked by a swarm of nabnabs and Stinger Flynn, and finally makes it to the end of the hallway, where we're met with a drawing of our first of many OC characters from this chapter. This is Silent Steve, who I guess is just taking the place of Jolly James after he was killed in cold blood for being a Pixar character. That wouldn't happen again, right? There's no way that would happen again, right? Alright, Banban fan and wiki, what's a really good fun fact you can tell me about fucking Silent Steve? Silent Steve is brothers with Loud Larry. Who the hell is Loud Larry? Like, I have pretty solid knowledge when it comes to what characters are featured in this series, and I'm pretty sure Loud Larry wasn't one of them. Okay, fine, let me check this out. Here's the character description. This should solve all our questions. Loud Larry is a character that is really so loud and is the loudest of Larry, and he is not silent because he is loud and loud. Did I mention how loud he is in his mouth? He is like a speakerphone because he is so loud. You know, I think I have more questions than answers now. Enough getting sidetracked on this wiki now, let's see what Silent Steve has to offer. The next room is the train station from Poppy Playtime, where you need to collect Silent Steve coins, which I'm hearing is the next big cryptocurrency. So you might want to give Silent Steve all your life savings. The player collects all the coins, and then, oh god, Banbalina was shot dead. Actually, she probably deserved it after how terrible her model was in the last chapter. Okay, so she wasn't actually shot, just bitten to death by Silent Steve. You know, just an average Tuesday, happens all the time. After a quick sprint back to the train and depositing all the coins one by one in classic Garten of Banban fashion, the chase begins as Silent Steve begins to chase us, and Sheriff Toadster, who is back from the dead somehow, comes to save us from death by Snake. The scene is set. It's time for an epic train chase. Oh, wait. Never mind, Silent Steve hits his head and is never seen it from again. Nah, that's fine, I wasn't hyped for a Silent Steve train chase or anything. Let's just move on, you know? Nothing happened. Fucking, I'm so sad. Slow Selena's found dead in the gift shop. Slow Celine got murked! The player finds another train, and then she comes back to life for an actual train chase. Be careful what you wish for though, because this train chase is mad long and mad boring. After Slow Celine fucking dies again, we're greeted with a new room with multiple new OC characters. We'll cover them as they show up in the story going forward, but for now we just see their eyes. That is until the player turns a corner and sees a new version of the wall art already. It was like passable when there was only one new character that kind of stuck out, but seeing all the new characters in the wall art with completely different line thickness is super funny and very jarring. Appreciate it while you can though, because these wall art reveals get weirder and weirder as we go on. Oh, I should also mention the giant Captain Fiddles just chilling at the wall art. After playing a very long game of tic-tac-toe with said giant Captain Fiddles and then running away from him, we are finally met with another OC character, and it's one of the most iconic ones at that.
I am the Big Chungus.
What?
Chef Pigster has got to be one of the first Banban OC characters I had ever seen in my life. Learning about the existence of Chef Pigster because of a random Roblox game is kind of the reason I found out about any of this in the first place. So I guess you can blame this stupid pig for this stupid video. Chef Pigster has a very weird design quirk that a lot of these Banban OCs like to use, which is having two faces for pretty much no reason. Like, it's hard to say this design is super enhanced by having 4 eyes, but it definitely makes him iconic to some extent. Before moving on, I think we're due for another wiki fun fact. His depiction is traced off of Leonard from the Angry Birds movie. Wait, there's no way. Oh my god, they did. Are any of these character designs original? What is even going on? I have known about the existence of Chef Pigster for months at this point, and it didn't even click once that his design was just traced from fucking Angry Birds movie stock art. I really don't know if this makes me like the chef more or less. I need a minute to process this, man. Wait, never mind, no I don't. There's more important things to talk about right now, such as the golden Chef Pigster statue. What's worth more? Investing in the stock market, or investing in a real-life pure gold replica of this statue? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to use the hashtag Pigster in your comments for a chance to win nothing. Chef Pigster's mission involves collecting a bunch of plates to then put into a washing elevator. Whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Then he gets like mad for some reason. I actually don't really have a clue what happens here. I think I zoned out when I first watched it. The player uses the drone to pick up like a bunch of boxes or something? Dude, I don't even know what's happening. I still can't get over the fact he's traced from an Angry Birds pig. The section ends, Pigster has a soy rage meltdown and almost drowns to death thanks to bursting a pipe open, is able to drain the water and save himself, but is then immediately taken and killed by Stinger Flynn. Wow, what a great character with a great arc. Thank you so much, Chef Pigster. I will be purchasing many bootleg plushies of you on AliExpress after this video is over. The next section features another OC character called Stinky according to Sheriff Toadster. Full name Stinky Joel, this character is so irrelevant that he has 0 trivia on his wiki page. So you already know we're in for a banger section of this video. Actually, even if he doesn't have any trivia list on his wiki page, I do want to point out that he has a listed marital status for some reason that just reads, taking out the trash? Did Stinky Joel kill his wife? After using the drone to find some footprints, we're led straight to a fake Stinky Joel, which then transitions into his boss battle, which involves finding the real Stinky in a sea of fakes. After Stinky is uncovered, he sends the player down a hallway to sort some trash, which then sets off an alarm, which then makes the player run into a room full of disgusting brown sludge, which then makes Stinky get squished to death. Oh, no wonder this character had no trivia. He's introduced and immediately killed within like 4 minutes. Rest in peace, Joel. You might be missed. The next section introduces us to the next OC character, Noodles Ninja, who might have the award for the most unappealing OC design so far, which is a pretty hard thing to pull off considering the competition is Stinky Joel. Ninja also doesn't have any fun facts on their wiki page. At this point, I am starving for some more great fun facts. This losing streak is brutal. Noodles Ninja's section has this one part where you have to check a million lockers to find stuff, which is just enough of an annoying time waster that it feels realistic to the Garten of Banban design philosophies. Anyway, he gets baited into an indoor park, gets hit with a giant swinging ball sack, and is murdered by a fan blade instantly. Immediately after he's killed, we are introduced to another OC character called Hunter Tim. Hunter Tim is kind of like if you took the loose idea of Figure from Doors and turned it into a Banban OC. Both are blind monsters that reside in a room where you need to look around to find items to escape said room. They even both have very similar animations where they run up to the top of the room before wandering around aimlessly. The very clear inspiration is definitely not lost on me here. I'll just say that. Sadly though, our losing streak of no wiki fun facts continues on. After collecting a bunch of shit from the room, and literally doing the heartbeat minigame from the figure boss fight, the player has to do a chase sequence with both Hunter Tim and a smaller version of Hunter Tim. At the end of the chase, they get scared off by a red light and alarm, and we're left alone ready to see the next OC character, Coach Pickles. Coach Pickles is arguably the most important Banban OC of all time, or at the very least, the most popular one. This character is more popular than a lot of the actual Banban characters, which sounds insane, but it's true. As a quick detour to back up my claim here, there's this one channel on YouTube that could probably get its own video someday called Horror Skunks. If you've ever seen that one gif of sad Banban crying, it's from this channel. These guys make like weirdly high quality animation live action hybrid videos that feature random popular characters in the real world. Their current game of choice for videos is, you guessed it, Garten of Banban. They've made a handful of Banban videos on certain characters from the series. You got your Banbans, Jumbo Joshes, Nabs. But do you want to know what their most recent video is as of the time I'm writing this script? Coach Pickles. There are so many characters from the actual Banban series left to make videos about, yet they put all of them aside to make a video on Coach Pickles. It's because they know how stupidly popular this character is for no reason. So, one of the most popular Banban related characters of all time is a recolor of a traced character from Monsters University. Life is beautiful sometimes. And oh boy, don't you worry about the fun fact dry streak continuing, because Coach Pickles has a lot of stuff on his wiki page. So for the first time in a while, Here's some trivia. Coach Pickles is by far one of the strongest in Banban's kindergarten, at least in Buggy's universe, due to always coming back no matter what happens to him. I bring this fact up specifically because it's not wrong. Coach Pickles has some serious plot armor, as we'll see going forward. Yes, a fucking Banban fake gameplay animation series has characters with plot armor. Yes, this is a real thing. Anyway, back to peak fiction. The player enters Coach Pickles' gym, which gives us another look at the now updated wall art. I think one of the funniest parts about seeing the wall art get updated is that all the new characters keep getting bigger and bigger, which makes Jumbo Josh look super small by comparison. The size power creep of this wall art is crazy. Also, while we're looking at this mural again, let's just take a look at Silent Steve. After that whole Chef Pigster being traced thing, I can't get my mind off the possibility of other characters being traced from random animated movie characters. Then it hit me. It's fucking Randall. They replaced the character from Monsters University with the character from Monsters Inc. Bro, I can't deal with this anymore. Let's move on before we find out that Stinky Joel is traced from some random DreamWorks movie character. Coach Pickles makes us play basketball for like 2 seconds before getting pissed off and making us play real-life Donkey Kong. However, all it takes for this character, who is very evil, to completely switch sides is grabbing his trophy at the top of the Donkey Kong course. From this point forward, Coach Pickles is now our ally and #1 ride or die. BFFs forever. Now that Coach Pickles has switched sides, he immediately decides that letting this random stranger ride on the top of his head is the best course of action. So the player and Coach Pickles race out of the gym while being chased by Hunter Tim, which ends in Coach Pickles having to throw us across a pit and leaving himself behind. When this series was still coming out episode by episode, most people probably thought that this was the end of Coach Pickles, much like pretty much every other random OC character before him. But if my spiel from earlier told you anything, it's that Coach Pickles will be back. He's like the William Afton of this series. He always comes back. The next section is some sleeping room with Zolthius on the wall art for some reason, but screw that noise, because we have another OC character less than a minute later. This character is simply called Nibbler, and kinda looks like an evil, twisted, fucked up version of SpongeBob. He has a single Wiki fun fact, which reads, "It's possible when Nibbler was created, he wasn't raised properly by his creators. Then he grew up quickly and became cold, angry, and unemotional." That might have been the worst fun fact yet, I won't even lie. Anyway, you make him fall asleep, make him run into a few pillars, and then just when you think it's over, Coach Pickles comes back to save the day. See, there's that plot armor from earlier. You jump on his back, you think he's about to die, jump on his back again, and I can't go on, I can't go anymore. This is just the most mind-numbing brain rot I have ever covered on this channel. And I made a video on fucking 3-lame, dude. The competition is tough out here. I could go on and tell you about these stupid OC characters, but I think you get the picture at this point. You have now witnessed how this series devolved from a bunch of actual Banban characters into an actual OC fanfic. But before I stop, I just want to say that Dr. Fluffy Pants, a character that appears later in the series, has some of the ugliest wall art ever. Whose idea was it to have his dogs just hanging out like that? Also, one of the fun facts on his wiki is, turns out he's not really obese. What? Even if we're moving on from talking about this series in particular, we aren't done with this video just yet. While I'm here today to specifically go over the Buggy Huggy lore, there are so many other channels that do this exact same thing, and have completely different lore and characters from this series. To help show off another one of these channels today, I've kidnapped Daggz from the YouTube channel Daggz to tell you about a completely different series of Banban garbage. Take it away.
Hello, yeah channel. It's me, Daggz, otherwise known as the most sane person to ever be exposed to Banban content. Oh wait, I should probably get more in character for this. There we go. So after the absolutely insane journey we went on with Coach Pickles and the gang, I think we can all be in agreement that these videos have completely lost the plot. The majority of the content featured here became so derivative that it could literally just be considered its own mascot horror game. So in this long list of fake Banban chapters, is there someone who actually tried to stick closer to the source material? Well, yes, actually. Sale Playtime is another one of these fake chapter content farms that actually introduced me to this entire concept of fake chapter gameplay videos. You know, back in the day, we used to be gaslit by blurry photoshops of FNAF cameras, but now these kids are being gaslit by full-fledged videos that probably look completely indistinguishable from the real thing in the mind of a child. I'm telling telling you, man, Gen Alpha is going to have some serious trust issues. The thing I find most interesting about these videos compared to the Buggy Huggy ones that we saw previously is that I'm a lot more convinced that these could be actual games. Obviously, these are incredibly scripted and will probably never be released, but looking at some of the mouse movements, and especially the pretty consistent momentum of the jumps compared to the previous examples, the ideas of these actually being somewhat playable outside of these little videos is certainly a very interesting thing to think about. Just like every content farm though, Sale Playtime didn't start off using the most on-model characters in their videos. The only thing that we had to work with regarding Banban in his infancy was Chapter 1. So when Sale Playtime was making their first Chapter 2 video, we are introduced to a lot of very interesting characters, such as oiled up Captain Fiddles, who LARPs as Papyrus in a room and tries to juke us out in several hallways. Despite all of this, these videos in some regards are actually a lot more redeemable than the official games. A lot of the environments mapped out in these videos aren't actually half bad and make for much more interesting set pieces than what we would get in the real chapters when they came out. Even small details like you picking up your drone at the end of Chapter 2 actually having a visual pickup animation instead of it just facing back directly into your hand. Another trend that Sale Playtime does that is very common with these types of content farms is give us new remotes in place of the original one. The first new remote that we get is the Opila remote that allows you to control a Pila bird while holding it. You know that this remote is powerful because it has 2 antennas. After sending Opila to Banban's lab, Mr. Garten of Banban himself walks in the frame. Another really funny detail about this environment is that the logo for Garten of Banban 2 is just on the wall in this shot. Not like the Banban's kindergarten logo or anything, it just literally says Garten of Banban, which I find really amusing. As the chapters go on, Sale Playtime does a pretty good job at making everything look incredibly convincing after a while. As more real chapters started to come out, they were actually able to use real Banban models, which apparently were commissioned to be ripped out of the game by NL Spence, who is not only a friend of me and yeah, but also the person that can be credited for exposing how absolutely abhorrently optimized the Banban models are. Small world, dude, I tell ya. As time goes on, obviously Sale Playtime starts introducing fan-in characters too. Some standout ones are Lazcat, Cyclos, Remy, and Bad. And this fucked up version of Nabnalina before an official model of her was ever made. These videos also have their own voice acting too. Yay! The voice acting in these videos are absolutely hilarious. Like, Banban sounds like Dr. Wallace Breen from Half-Life 2 with a cold.
Hello again. Glad to see you still alive.
Jumbo Josh is also given a voice here too.
Hey, Captain Fiddles.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with the Examination voice. Sale Playtime is another extremely bizarre case of a content farm, but I think it's one of the ones that has the most effort put into it. I know that is an incredibly low bar on almost all fronts of this conversation, but if the bar was literally on the floor, Sale Playtime were at least able to move it an inch off the ground. I wouldn't recommend subjecting yourself to almost 2 hours of this slop, but if you want to piss yourself off at how bad base Banban is compared to these videos, I'd recommend. Anyways, my Givanium is starting to wear off, so I better get going before Banban finds out and goes evil mode on me.
Thanks, Daggz. Now before I go, there's one more thing I gotta talk about. The bootleg plushies. For pretty much every one of these popular mascot horror series that come out, a wave of bootleg plushies is soon to follow. It happened for Poppy, Doors, Rainbow Friends, so it makes sense that the same would happen for Garten of Banban eventually. Very shortly after the first game came out, you could find bootleg plushies of every character featured in Banban 1 pretty easily if you looked around online. However, soon after that happened, and the content farm OC scene started forming, everything changed. In almost an instant, we went from a handful of Banban bootleg plushies to over 100. I'm not kidding. Go to any AliExpress listing for Banban plushies, and you'll see a majority OC characters like Coach Pickles and Chef Pigster. Like, it was pretty bad like this for Rainbow Friends as well, but this is on a whole new level. There's even a whole ass website called banbanplush.com dedicated to selling these bootleg products. You can find them on random websites like Amazon, eBay, even in real life. It's crazy. But now that I've spent all this time covering Banban content farms and all that, I feel like I should try and leave a mark on their history. If random-ass movie characters can become Banban bootleg plushies, then so can something I create myself. So here's the plan. I am going to make my very own Banban OC, and we are going to spread it everywhere. Put it on the wiki, give it a million fun facts, recommend the character in comments of every content farm you can think of. The goal here is to 1, get Buggy Huggy to use my OC, and 2, to get Bootleg AliExpress plushies of my Bootleg character. However, to do any of this, I need to make a Banban OC. So let's do that. Alright, let's make a Garten of Banban fan character to take over the internet. Now, there's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of different fake Banban characters that we have to compete with in this situation. But considering the quality of some of them, you know, it won't be. I don't think it'll be that hard. I'm trying to think of a good animal. A lot of these are based on animals. You know, dog would be an easy one because I'm, you know, my character's a dog and all that. But I also don't have confidence that I could draw a dog very easily, so we're not doing that. Cat, maybe? I'm thinking maybe a cat. We got pig. This is like a what is Dr. Fluffy Pants? Bull? I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, sure. Oh god, this art is so... A lot of them have 2 faces, and by a lot of like a couple of them, like 4 have 2 faces, and they're kind of ugly. Dude. God, a lot of this wall art is terrible. Coach Pickles. I like the Coach Pickles approach of giving animal like, characteristics to a kind of random shape, almost. I feel like we could go with that. All right, we're gonna do a random animal generator. We're going to generate 6 animals, and we're gonna pick one of the 6. Here we go. Rerun. Skunk, beaver, like the Pokemon. I kind of like the idea of a beaver with a second face on the tail. That feels very, very content farm Banban OC territory. I'm kind of vibing with that. I think we'll go with that. All right, excuse my shitty drawing. I'm using a mouse. I have a drawing tablet, but it's currently packed up, so we're not going to be using that. A big thing with a lot of these Banban fan characters is that the line thickness is inconsistent as shit, and it's usually not consistent with the actual mural, so that's fine. We can, you know, we can just ignore caring too much. It's not like they care either. And I'm trying to think of names, theming for this character. There's a lot of options here, and I'm not exactly sure what direction to go in, but it'll probably come to us as we craft this creature. Let's just do the base. It's like kind of just like an 8, almost like an 8, or not really an 8, more like one of those Russian nesting dolls almost. So let's okay, I'm feeling the peanut shape. I might have made it a little too peanutty. Yeah, that's too peanutty. Let's try again. We're really looking at the fat bottom, so let's do like let's try to get the head good first. God, I really wish I had my drawing tablet right now. I'm gonna be 100%. Ooh. Okay, that's better. That's better. It doesn't have to be perfect. None of these are perfect. I feel like that's a decent shape. It's not like spot on, but I mean like, I think we can work with it. I think we can. So let's do the tail next. Tail's gonna be mad easy. Just do another layer for that. There we go. And the tail is gonna have a second head. So having it be nice and big like that is crucial. Crucial. A little further out, little further out, little further out. That's more like it, I think. That's more like it, I think. Let's fill that in. Oh, that is perfect. That is a Banban ass eye I've ever seen one. Oh, God. Oh, it's coming together. It is coming together, sadly. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? This is scary. It's kind of scary accurate. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay, so I kind of do actually like that, like the very, like, you know, goofy, silly teeth like this. Oh, fuck, wait, it's a beaver, buck teeth. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking in the wrong place right now. Let's do, oh, God, what in the world? Ew! Wow, that's really bad. We might have to go with more of a, like this, for the buck tooth. I'm gonna be real. And just separate in the middle. I mean, it feels less authentic maybe, but it's probably better. I feel like that's fine. I feel like that's fine. Okay, ears are easy as hell. We'll just do this. Yeah, I feel like the ears being kind of inconsistent is very authentic to whatever's going on here. So we'll keep it like that. Thinking about patterns for the stomach maybe, make a little more interesting. I'm thinking maybe like a heart. Like this. Boom. I mean, that's just like, that's easy money. I might redo it though, but that's like that idea. That's easy money. Okay, great. Now, we are looking at the feet. Now, I was contemplating earlier what to do with that, and I'm still not 100% sure. Gonna keep it 100. I feel like for animation, though, they want, like, the stupid long limbs. I'm still, in theory, this could still work, this idea here of, like, the... Ew, okay, that felt so bad. I know the Fork brothers wouldn't care this much about this line art, but I do. Let's do the tail. Let's do the tail. Let's finish this. Oh no. What am I cooking? And this guy's gonna be mad. He's gonna be just like constantly just like fucking pissed off. Like, what did I do to deserve this? He's gonna have a different nose for some reason. Don't ask why, he just will. And it's gonna be like, meh. He's gonna have a fang. He's gonna have a fang. He's gonna be mad too. Mad AF. Oh, it's too dumb, never mind. Well, he looks dumb without eyebrows. Maybe he looks fine. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I think I might be overthinking it, but I kind of like the idea of him having just any kind of eyebrows. And with that, I think our line art's done. Now let's pick a color for this thing. I think purple is the obvious answer, you know. I'm very purpley guy, and if this is gonna be our community shill into this content farm, you know, we might as well do purple. It seems fitting. So let's get a coloring layer going on here. I'm thinking of names. I think Handy should be in the name. It's a beaver, they build dams. Handyman. Handy Dan. Handy Dan is a good one. I might just go with that. That's also just like Handy Mandy, though. We could just call it Handy Mandy. Handy Dan builds dams. I mean, like, it kind of writes itself. I think Handy Dan might be the go-to play here. You're probably wondering, oh, why are you coloring like this? Why aren't you using a fill tool or selecting or whatever? It's because it's calming. It's very fun. I like coloring like you're coloring with crayons or whatever, okay? Just leave me alone. Handy Dan is coming to life, and I am scared. Scared shitless. And there, my friends, is Handy Dan. We're done. Now back to your regularly scheduled yeah programming. Thanks, yeah. There he is, everyone. Meet Handy Dan the Beaver. There will be a download link to his PNG file in the description. Feel free to make fan art of him and tag me on Twitter. And remember what our goal is here. Handy Dan needs to take over the Banban content farm scene. Anyway, I'm pretty much done here. This will be my final video I ever make in my current apartment, which I was only able to move into thanks to everybody watching my videos. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'll see you all again when I'm set up in my new place finally. Trust me, moving has been a pain in my ass. One last time from this apartment, I've been yeah, and I'll see you all next time.